Ready to learn English? Listen to our English videos every day to unlock your potential. In today's video, we are going to practice your English. Prepare for a speaking exam at the level B1. This is perfect if you want to apply for citizenship or settlement in the UK. Don't worry, relax, just listen and practice with me. I'm here by your side. The more you listen and practice, the more confident you will become. Trust me, let's get practicing. Grab a notebook to write down any important notes.
Welcome to Epic English. I'm your host, Sarah. Today, we're doing something special. Many of you are preparing for the Trinity GESE Grade 5 exam, the B1 test for UK citizenship or settlement. And you want to know, what's the difference between an A2 pass and a B1 pass? How can you push your speaking to the next level?
And I'm Mark. Today, Sarah will be the examiner, and I'll be the candidate. We're going to do a full mock exam together. Then, after the exam, we'll break down exactly what I did to reach B1 level. We'll show you the techniques that can make the difference.
Before we start, if you're preparing for a speaking exam, this episode is for you. And if you find it helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to Epic English. It helps us reach more English learners just like you. Share this with a friend who is also preparing for their exam. Thank you.
Yes, we appreciate every single one of you. Now, let's begin. Sarah, I'm ready for my exam.
Great. I'll start the mock exam now. Remember, this is a Trinity GESE Grade 5 exam. I'll ask questions about everyday topics. Mark, try to speak as naturally as possible. Good morning. My name is Sarah Jenkins. What's your name?
Good morning. My name is Mark Green.
Thank you, Mark. Could you spell your surname for me, please?
Yes, it's Green.
Thank you. Now, first, I'd like to hear a little about the topic you have prepared to discuss today. What topic have you brought to discuss today?
I've brought the topic of photography. It's a hobby I started about 2 years ago.
Excellent. Why did you choose this topic?
I chose it because photography has become really important to me. It's not just a hobby, it helps me see the world differently. When I'm taking photos, I notice small details I would normally miss.
That's a lovely reason. Tell me more about your photography. What kind of things do you like to photograph?
I mostly photograph landscapes and city scenes. I live in a city, so I'm surrounded by interesting architecture and busy streets. But I also enjoy going to the countryside on weekends to take photos of nature. I find it very relaxing to walk through the forest with my camera, looking for interesting light or unusual plants.
How did you learn photography?
I'm mostly self-taught. I watched a lot of YouTube videos and read articles online. I also joined a photography group in my city. We meet once a month and share our photos. It's been really helpful because other members give me feedback and suggest new techniques.
Do you have a favorite photograph that you've taken?
Yes, I do. It's a photo I took at sunset near a lake. The sky was orange and pink, and the water reflected the colors perfectly. There was a single tree standing by the water, and the light hit it in a way that made it look almost golden. I printed that photo and gave it to my parents as a gift. They have it on their living room wall now.
That sounds beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Mark. Now, we're going to move on to a conversation about some different subjects. Let's talk about travel.
Okay, great.
Do you enjoy traveling?
Yes, I love traveling. It's one of my favorite things to do. I try to travel at least twice a year if I can. I enjoy visiting new places, trying different food, and learning about other cultures.
What's the best place you've ever visited?
That's a difficult question. I think I would say Japan. I went there last spring with my sister. We visited Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka. The contrast between the modern cities and the ancient temples was amazing. I also loved the food. Everything was so fresh and beautifully presented. And the people were incredibly polite and helpful. I would love to go back one day.
What did you enjoy most about Kyoto?
The temples were incredible. I particularly enjoyed the Fushimi Inari Shrine with all the red torii gates. We walked through thousands of them up the mountain. It was a bit tiring, but the view from the top was worth it. I also appreciated how quiet and peaceful the city felt compared to Tokyo.
Do you prefer traveling alone or with others?
I prefer traveling with others, to be honest. I've traveled alone a few times, and while it's nice to have complete freedom, I find it more enjoyable to share experiences with someone. When I travel with my sister or friends, we can talk about what we saw, laugh about funny moments, and create shared memories. It makes the trip feel more meaningful.
Now, let's talk about future plans. What are your plans for the next year?
I have a few goals. First, I want to improve my English enough to pass this exam, obviously. I've been practicing every day, and I feel more confident than I did a few months ago. Second, I'm planning to visit Iceland in the autumn. I've seen photos of the northern lights, and I really want to see them in person. I'm already saving money for that trip.
Why Iceland specifically?
I'm drawn to the natural landscapes. Iceland has waterfalls, volcanoes, glaciers, and black sand beaches. It looks like another planet in some photos. I also enjoy cold weather, so autumn or winter would be perfect for me. I want to take my camera and try to capture the northern lights. That's been a dream of mine for years.
Do you have any professional goals?
Yes, I currently work as an administrative assistant, but I'm hoping to move into a marketing role within my company. I've been taking some online courses in digital marketing, and I'm hoping that improving my English will help me communicate more effectively with international clients. I think a B1 certificate will show my employer that I'm ready for more responsibility.
That sounds like a clear plan. Now, let's talk about entertainment. What do you enjoy doing in your free time?
Besides photography, I enjoy watching films. I'm a big fan of science fiction and thrillers. I also like going to the cinema with friends. There's something special about watching a film on a big screen with an audience. Recently, I've also started cooking more. I find it relaxing to try new recipes after a long week at work.
What's the best film you've seen recently?
I recently watched a film called Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. It was quite unusual, but I loved it. The story was creative and the acting was fantastic. It made me laugh, but it also made me think about family and choices. I'd recommend it to anyone who enjoys something different.
Now, let's talk about music. Do you play any musical instruments?
I used to play the guitar when I was younger, but I stopped. I'm thinking about picking it up again. I still have my old guitar at home. It would be nice to learn again. I find music very relaxing.
What kind of music do you listen to?
I listen to a variety of music. I enjoy indie rock, electronic music, and sometimes classical when I'm working. I find that instrumental music helps me concentrate. My favorite band is a British group called Radiohead. I've been listening to them since I was a teenager.
Thank you, Mark. That's all the questions I have. It's been a pleasure talking with you today.
Thank you. It was nice talking to you too.
I wish you the best of luck with your exam and your future plans.
Thank you very much. Have a lovely day.
And that's the end of the mock exam. Mark, that was really well done. Now, let's break down what you did that pushed your speaking to B1 level rather than A2.
I'd love that. What were the key differences?
Let me start with the first thing I noticed. When I asked you about your topic, photography, you didn't just give short answers. You gave extended answers with reasons and details.
So instead of just saying, I like photography, I explained why.
Exactly. At A2 level, a candidate might say, I like photography. I take photos. Short, simple sentences. At B1 level, you said, photography has become really important to me. It's not just a hobby. It helps me see the world differently. When I'm taking photos, I notice small details I would normally miss.
So the difference is adding reasons, feelings, and examples.
Yes, that's one of the key things examiners look for at B1. Can you expand your answers? Can you give reasons? Can you explain your feelings? You did that throughout the exam.
What else did you notice?
You also used a variety of tenses correctly. You used present simple to describe your habits. I mostly photograph landscapes. You used present perfect to talk about experiences. I've been taking some online courses. You used past simple to talk about your trip. I went there last spring. And you used future forms to talk about your plans. I'm planning to visit Iceland.
So mixing tenses shows a higher level.
Exactly. At A2, candidates often stay in one tense. At B1, you need to move between tenses naturally to talk about past experiences, present habits, and future plans.
What about my answers to the conversation questions? I noticed you asked about travel, future plans, entertainment, and music.
Yes, and in those answers, you used something very important, opinions and feelings. At A2, a candidate might say, I like traveling. At B1, you said, I love traveling. It's one of my favorite things to do. I try to travel at least twice a year if I can. I enjoy visiting new places, trying different food, and learning about other cultures.
So giving opinions and explaining why.
Yes, and you also compared things. When I asked about traveling alone or with others, you said, I prefer traveling with others, to be honest. I've traveled alone a few times, and while it's nice to have complete freedom, I find it more enjoyable to share experiences with someone.
I compared the two experiences.
Exactly. Comparison is a B1 skill. At A2, you might just state your preference. At B1, you explain why and maybe compare with the alternative.
What about vocabulary? Did I use enough B1 level words?
Yes, you used words like incredible, appreciated, meaningful, concentrate. You also used some good phrases like, I find it relaxing, it's worth it, I'm drawn to. These are natural, native-sounding chunks.
So vocabulary matters, but it's not just about using big words. It's about using natural phrases.
Exactly. And you also showed you could handle follow-up questions. When I asked, what did you enjoy most about Kyoto? You didn't just repeat your previous answer. You gave new information. The temples, the torii gates, the peaceful atmosphere.
So I need to be ready to give more detail when the examiner asks a follow-up.
Yes. At A2, a candidate might give one short answer and stop. At B1, you need to show you can develop a conversation. You did that well.
What about my prepared topic? I chose photography. Was that a good choice?
Yes, you chose something personal that you could talk about naturally. You had a story, the photo you gave to your parents. You had reasons, why you enjoy it. You had details, how you learned, your photography group. That's exactly what examiners want.
So the topic should be something you genuinely care about, not something you memorized from a textbook.
Exactly. Memorized answers sound robotic. Natural answers show your true level.
Now let's talk about mistakes. I know I made a few mistakes. Did that affect my grade?
You made a few small mistakes, but they didn't affect communication. At B1 level, you can make mistakes as long as the meaning is clear. The examiner is not looking for perfect English. They're looking for effective communication.
So I shouldn't worry about making a few mistakes.
No, the problem is when mistakes make it hard to understand you. If you stop and start, or if you can't find the words, that's when your grade might drop. But small grammar mistakes, that's normal at B1.
What about fluency? Did I speak too fast or too slow?
Your pace was good. You didn't rush. You took small pauses when you needed to think. That's natural. At A2, candidates often speak in very short sentences with long pauses. At B1, you should speak in longer sentences with natural rhythm.
And I made sure to keep going even when I wasn't sure about a word.
Yes, you used strategies like paraphrasing. When you weren't sure about a word, you explained around it. That's a B1 skill.
So to summarize, what are the key things I did to reach B1 level?
Let's list them.
1. I gave extended answers with reasons and details.
2. I used a variety of tenses naturally.
3. I expressed opinions and feelings.
4. I compared different options.
5. I used natural phrases and chunks.
6. I handled follow-up questions with new information.
7. I chose a personal topic I could talk about naturally.
8. I kept going even when I made small mistakes.
9. I used strategies like paraphrasing when I didn't know a word.
And 10. I showed I could have a real conversation, not just answer questions.
That's a great list. Now, for our listeners who are preparing for their own exam, what advice would you give?
First, practice giving extended answers. Don't just say yes or no, add a reason, an example, or a feeling.
Second, practice talking about your own experiences. The examiner wants to hear about you, not textbook answers.
Third, learn phrases for giving opinions. I think, I believe, in my opinion, I find it.
Fourth, practice comparing things. I prefer X because, but Y is also good because.
Fifth, record yourself speaking. Listen back. Are you giving short answers or extended answers? Are you using different tenses?
Sixth, don't memorize scripts. Memorize phrases and chunks, but let your answers be natural.
Seventh, practice with a partner. Ask each other questions and try to keep the conversation going.
Eighth, on the exam day, relax. The examiner wants you to do well. Take a breath, speak clearly, don't rush.
And finally, remember, B1 is about communication, not perfection. Show them you can have a conversation. Show them you can express your ideas. That's what matters.
Great advice. Now, before we finish, I have one more question for you.
Go ahead.
What's one thing a candidate should absolutely not do in the exam?
Don't give one-word answers. If the examiner asks, "Do you like traveling?" don't just say yes. Say, "Yes, I love traveling. I try to go somewhere new every year. Last year I went to Italy and it was amazing." Show them what you can do.
Don't be afraid to show off your English.
Exactly. This is your chance to show what you know. Use the vocabulary you've learned, use the tenses you've practiced, show them your best.
Thank you, Sarah. That was incredibly helpful.
And thank you for being a great candidate. Now, to our listeners, we hope this episode has helped you understand what it takes to reach B1 level.
If you're preparing for your exam, remember, practice extended answers, use different tenses, give opinions, and most importantly, be yourself.
Before we go, if you found this episode helpful, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to Epic English so you don't miss our future episodes, and share this with someone who is preparing for their speaking exam.
And leave a comment. What's one thing you're going to practice after watching this episode? We'd love to hear from you.
Thank you for listening. Good luck with your exam preparation. You can do this.
You've got this. Bye, everyone.
Bye.